Ryan Tannehill joins the show, starting quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. Ryan, you've just landed in London this morning. I kind of feel like we should be a welcome back to London rather than a welcome to London, right?
Yeah, no question. It's been my fourth trip over here, fourth game I've been a part of. Played in the first two, was injured for the my third trip over here, didn't play. But yeah, fourth trip over here. It's always an exciting time. It's a whirlwind, right? You're flying over on Thursday night and kind of hitting the ground running, trying to recover on sleep, get on the right schedule, getting ready for the game. But there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of buzz going into the game, and it's a lot of fun.
How does it feel differently now? Kind of what last time you were out here, it's probably 6-7 years ago. How do you feel differently now, and how does the whole trip feel different to you?
I mean, I'm older. I'm more experienced. I'm hopefully wiser. Been through a lot, learned a lot. Everything in life's a learning experience. So whether good thing or bad thing, you can always learn from it. And being here in a different team, different organization, different teammates. So it's a lot of fun. A bunch of new guys that are experiencing this for the first time. So just watching these guys soak up the experience has been a lot of fun for me.
This is a home game for you guys technically, but almost on the road, and the road form's been tough over the last year and a bit, right? But I think it's November 17th, that last road win. How do you treat this like a home game, and how do you make sure that actually you go on a trip and you come back with that win?
Yeah, you just got to go win the game no matter where it's at. It doesn't matter where we're playing, whether it's at our home stadium, at an away stadium, or in a different country. The goal of each week is to finish the week with a win. Obviously, haven't done that enough lately on the road, and need to get on track this week.
How do you feel off the back of last weekend's performance? How do you assess the season so far?
Yeah, I think we've left something on the table, right? There's been some good, there's been some bad, and we just have to be more consistent. We did some really good things last week as the game was going on. Moved the ball really well throughout the game, but didn't finish drives in the red zone. Got to be able to finish those drives in the red zone with touchdowns and score more points than we are. And then other points in the season, maybe we didn't move the ball so well, but we did finish in the red zone. So it's just a matter of pushing it together, putting it together. And playing a full game, complete game, being consistent throughout the four quarters.
So when you say consistent, it feels like under Coach Vrabel, you guys have been the model of consistency over the last few years. And then with the injuries last season, it was kind of quite a difficult year. So how do you get back to that point that you were at? Like you said about finishing drives, getting points, how do you execute to make sure everything comes back together?
Yeah, just go play as a team, play as one team, not an individual player or individual units. It's three phases of the game that form one team, and we're able to feed off of each other. Being able to pick up the slack maybe if defense gives up some points, and offense being able to answer, or offense goes 3 and out and the defense gets a stop. Just being able to have each other's backs in a way where we can build off each other and feed off each other as the game goes on.
Is there a feeling that the ship is close to being righted? Because it's been that roller coaster, seesaw, whatever you want to call it, win-loss. It's like just getting that back-to-back wins, getting it. Is there a feeling in the camp that you're close to that happening?
Yeah, well, like I said, we've done some good things and had some really good games, but we just got to be more consistent, So got to get back on track this week, get a win, find a way to get a win this week, and that's our ultimate goal right now, is find a way to win this week, and then we'll work on stacking one the next time we play.
You talked about being older and hopefully a bit wiser. Contract year this year, and with a couple of guys there, I'm sure chomping at the bit for some starting reps. How are you mentally kind of approaching that this year, and how are you keeping yourself level? You seem like a super level guy, but how are you making sure that with all that pressure around you, you're staying absolutely on that line?
Yeah, it's not too hard. I just go about my business day in, day out. Try to do the best job I can of leading this team, preparing to win each and every game, trying to lift up the play of the guys around me and go find a way to win football games. So I don't really think about all the extra stuff that goes on. And we have a good quarterback room. We have a good team, guys that support each other and want to see each other succeed. So, looking forward to getting a win this week. It's
good to hear that, because they draft 2 guys in 2 years, and you hear these stories, these horror years of Rodgers and Favre and Brady and Montana and Steve Young. And so knowing that actually there's still a good feeling in that room it's nice to hear, at least from the outside.
Yeah, no question. I enjoy coming to work every day. We have a good atmosphere. We have a lot of fun together. We spend a lot of time together, throughout the week, early meetings, late meetings, and everything in between, on the practice field competing, doing drills and throwing competitions and things like that. So we have a lot of fun together, but we push each other and are getting better together.
I'll ask you about a couple of guys on your team, starting off with DeAndre Hopkins. Finding those holes in the zone last week, you picking him out, it looked like that was really starting to come together. How's that relationship for you, and how special of a player is he?
Yeah, D-Hop's great, man. He's a guy who's been a really good player for a long time. He has that feel of how to get himself open, whether it's man coverage and he's able to use his length and savviness to get a little bit of separation, or finding the holes in the zones, kind of like we saw last week. So that relationship just continues to grow. The more reps we get, the more I see him make the adjustments and see things. And now we're starting to see things the same way, which is huge.
You talked about in man coverage, some of the best hands I think I've seen in the NFL in the last couple of decades. But does there have to be a level of trust? Like, do you have to get those reps in first before you think to yourself, jump ball, number one corner, but I know he's going to come down with it?
Well, the first ball I ever threw to him in practice was a one-on-one rep, tight coverage down the field, and just put it up, gave him a chance, and he went and made the play. So it didn't take me long to figure out, if I put it in the area that he's going to be able to make the play.
It's like when you get in a new car and you want to see how quickly it goes 0 to 60.
No, you got to test it out, right? I mean, who goes like the speed limit when you get a new fast car, right? You got to test it out.
Love it. And Derrick Henry, we spoke to Marlon Humphrey yesterday, and he said to us, man, I hope the guys up front do their job, because I don't want to end up on a highlight reel if I end up one-on-one with him. Like, watching that battering ram of a man work week in, week out, what's that like for you?
Oh, it's fun. Derrick's been awesome. My entire time in Tennessee. Obviously, he's physical, he's tough, he's fast. He's a specimen of a human. Not too many guys walking around on planet Earth that look like him, and especially not at the running back position. So, if we can feed him and get him going and be efficient in the run game and give him some space in order to create those big plays down the field where he's one-on-one with a DB, then that matchup's going to work out in our favor.
Seriously, the first time I saw him in person, like out of pads, it was on a Radio Row, and someone was like, "Oh, it's Derrick Henry." I turned around, I was like, "No, that's definitely a linebacker.
Yeah.
That's a defensive."
It looks like
end.
a
No
DN,
way, that's
right?
a running
It looks
back.
like a
No
DN,
way.
but yeah, not too many guys look like him.
He was calling himself Young Peyton before last week. How do you feel about him taking those red zone opportunities away?
Hey, if it scores, I'm all for it, man. Whatever it takes to put points on the board and win games.
Look, last one, and this is genuinely, I ask people for questions because it's, getting the starting quarterback is a big deal for the guys out here, and getting to hear from you, from the Titans fans. The one thing I got 2 different people request was to ask you about your pilot license, and saying, like, are we going to see some kind of airplane celebration this week or something like that?
I don't think I have an airplane celebration yet. That's a good idea, though. I should probably try working on that. But yeah, I got my pilot's license this past year. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of work went into it. I actually went up in the cockpit of the plane on the way over here before we took off, and said hi to the pilots and checked it out. Looks a little bit different than the plane I fly, I promise you that. But it was cool to see how that cockpit looks, and way more operations and way more buttons and everything else that's going on in there compared to what I fly.
I like that you starting quarterback privilege. It's like, yeah, I'm going to go and check out the cockpit. Why not?
Well, I asked at least. I asked, right? I asked the stewardess. They were like, yeah, go ahead, take a look. So it was fun, and I appreciated the opportunity to check it out.
Love that. Sam is going to be absolutely delighted I asked that question. Last thing, from what you've seen from the Ravens on tape this week, ahead of this weekend, and all those blitzes they're going to throw at you and all those wild packages, how are you feeling about how you match up before Sunday?
Yeah, I'm excited for the opportunity. Obviously, a really, really solid defense from top to bottom. Big, physical front. Their backers are fast. They play really well together. Probably one of the top linebacking cores that you see in the league with 0 and 6. They play sideline to sideline, downhill. They kind of do it all. They cover well. Secondary's active. They have guys that can make plays. Marlon Humphrey's been a top corner for a long time now. So it's not a weak link. You look at a defense, not like, hey, if we can tackle this one aspect of it. It's a defense that we're all going to have to do our jobs, execute down in, down out, stay efficient. If we get a chance down the field, be able to take advantage of it, and then, like I said, finish in the red zone.
All right, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Good luck for Sunday.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.